Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Today we are going to discuss the pleural effusion dynamics and its pathophysiology. As you know that pleural effusion is actually the collection of fluid in pleural space, and normally the parietal pleura and visceral pleura, they are in very close contact with each other, and potential space between them is it contains a very little amount of fluid, and pleural effusion develops due to different pathophysiological processes. Pleural effusion dynamics are actually very complicated and incompletely understood. We can look, however, in a simplified way at different forces which are acting upon, which lead to the net result of accumulation of fluid in the pleural space. So this is a very simplified diagram or figure. You can see here different forces are acting upon in a pleural space. So this is the potential pleural space. This is a site of visceral pleura, and this is the site of parietal pleura. Parietal pleura, it is perfused by the systemic circulation, and the high pressure systemic capillary hydrostatic pressure and a negative intrapleural pressure and pleural oncotic pressure. These all pressures, they overcome the plasma oncotic pressure, and this results into the movement of fluid from systemic circulation into the pleural space. Meanwhile, the visceral pleura, it is perfused by the pulmonary circulation, and it is perfused by the low pressure pulmonary capillaries. You can see this is the capillaries, systemic capillary hydrostatic pressure, that is plus 30 centimeter of water, and this is the pressure of pulmonary capillaries, that is, you can see it's very low as compared to systemic capillaries. So the visceral pleura is perfused by the low pressure pulmonary capillaries, and the net forces, they result in absorption of the fluid from pleural space into the veins, pulmonary veins and lymphatics. So there is a net balance between the filtration of the fluid and its absorption. Whenever this balance is disrupted, it leads to the accumulation of fluid in the pleural space. So what are the causes which lead to the development of pleural effusion? You can see the pleural effusion can develop whenever there is increase in the capillary hydrostatic pressure. Capillary hydrostatic pressure, if it is increased, it will lead to the more filtration of fluid into the pleural space. Similarly, you can see the other cause might be the decreased plasma oncotic pressure. If this plasma oncotic pressure, which you can see here, it is minus 34 centimeter normally, if it is decreased, the net forces will be more positive, and they will draw the fluid into the pleural space. And another mechanism which leads to the development of pleural effusion, that is pleural membrane disease or damage. It may be due to an inflammatory process or malignancy of the pleura like mesothelioma, that can lead to the increased permeability of the pleural space and lead to development of pleural effusions. And the fourth important mechanism or cause of development of pleural effusion is obstruction to the lymphatics. You can see here the lymphatics, they drain out the fluid from pleural space into the pulmonary circulation and then into the systemic circulation. So whenever there is obstruction to these lymphatics, that will lead to the accumulation of fluid into this potential pleural space. So these are main four causes or four mechanisms, and the underlying pathophysiology and dynamics. These are very important to understand and to have a basic concept of development of pleural effusion. I hope this short video and short interpretation of the pleural fluid dynamics would have been very helpful for you, and thank you very much for watching.